Why not? Why not accept that some chapters are closed and allow yourself to gently turn the page? Hello and welcome back to Why Not? Have you ever reread a favorite book? You know every detail, every plot twist, but you read it again anyway, just to be immersed in that warm, familiar feeling. But in the book of our own lives, sometimes we find ourselves stuck on a single chapter, often a painful one. A chapter about a relationship that ended. A chapter about a job that is no longer ours. A chapter about a friendship that faded away. We know every word, every ache by heart, but we can't stop ourselves from turning back to its first page and reading it all over again.
Accepting that a chapter has closed is one of the hardest things we do, because it goes against a very human instinct, the instinct of hope. Deep down, we hold on to a glimmer of hope that the chapter isn't really over, that maybe this is just a temporary plot twist, that if we wait long enough or reread it carefully enough, the characters will come back. The story will have a different ending. Turning the page feels like an admission of failure, a final goodbye that we are not yet ready to say. Furthermore, those chapters once defined us. We were someone's partner, an employee at that company, that person's best friend. When the chapter closes, a piece of our identity goes with it, and the space it leaves behind is terrifying. We would rather cling to a familiar, painful story than face a blank page with no idea what to write next.
But what is the price of refusing to turn the page? It's like living in a large house, but locking yourself in a single room, the room of the past. You don't dare step outside to see what the other rooms hold. You don't open the windows to let in today's sunlight, because you are too busy rearranging the old furniture in that one room. Your energy is drained. Rereading a sad story over and over isn't just tiring, it's soul-wearing. It prevents you from seeing the new opportunities, new people, and new joys waiting just outside the door. You cannot begin a new chapter if your hands are still holding on to the old one.
So, why not? Why not reframe turning the page, not as an act of erasure, but as an act of respect? Respect for the story that happened. Respect for the feelings it brought you, both the joy and the pain. And most importantly, respect for yourself, the person who deserves to continue their journey. Why not perform a small closing ritual? It doesn't have to be grand. Maybe it's writing a letter, not to be sent, but to say thank you and goodbye to that chapter. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the memories. I am ready to move on now. Or perhaps it's simply gathering the mementos that remind you of that chapter and placing them in a box, not to throw away, but to place on the bookshelf of your past where it belongs. And as you do this, why not take a moment to look at the blank page before you? It can be scary, but it is also full of potential. You can write anything you want. A story of discovery, a story of healing, a story of a new beginning. The author of this book of life is you.
Accepting that a chapter is over doesn't mean it was never important. On the contrary, it's because it was so important that it deserves a proper ending, so you can begin another, equally magnificent chapter. The book of your life has so many blank pages ahead. Don't let yourself become a prisoner of a few well-worn pages from the past.
So today, why not take a deep breath? Place your finger on the corner of that tear-stained page and allow yourself to gently turn and see what awaits you on the other side.